I actually haven't been well recently. Oh, stop it, honestly, I don't want to talk about it. But if you insist, I really haven't, though, so that's why I'm delighted to get here today. I was rushed to A&E recently with terrible abdominal problems, just hideous pains all up and down my tummy and around my sides, and I was rushed to A&E. And for about 3 hours, I thought, and anyone here who ever read a magazine as a teenager will know what I mean, especially the girls, I thought that I was about to have a surprise baby. Do you know the way there's those stories in the magazine going, well, everything was normal, nothing was different, everything was regular. Well, then I went to the toilet, and I looked in the toilet, and there was a baby in the toilet. I had a surprise baby. There was always that, and that's when I thought it was. But you'll be happy to know that actually it was, I'm bringing sexy back, a gut infection. A gut infection. But the worst part of the whole situation was that the doctor in A&E was really, really handsome. And I think doctors who are handsome should be struck off. I really do. I wanted someone with a sort of mashed potato head that I could feel at one with. But instead, this man was really handsome. He said to me, what seems to be the problem? And I was like, well, doctor, my problem is that I'm too cute. Cheers me. I mean, how could I tell him that I thought I was having a surprise baby or else I was waiting for a poo? I mean, you couldn't, you know. And once we find out which one it is, do you want to go for a drink? It's really quite terrible. But by the way, you might notice that I talk quite fast. And if I'm honest, it's not really going to slow down too much, so you'll have to sort of jump on the Venga bus of enthusiasm and beep the horn with this one. I think that the reason I talk quite fast is because I was brought up in the countryside, in the deepest, darkest countryside, where there was no one for miles and miles around. Just this giant expanse of land with no one to talk to. And it was very, very lonely. You'd have no one to speak to during the day. I mean, a very backwards existence, lads. Like, our clothes are made of mud. Our hats were made of leaves. We had no access to things like pot noodles. We just had to sort of pour boiling water on top of birds' nests if we didn't feel like cooking one evening. A really backwards existence. And crows everywhere. Crows. In the city, there's pigeons everywhere, but in the countryside, there's crows everywhere. And it makes everything you do seem really ominous. You'd open the window and it'd be like, wah, 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 wah. Well, that seems a bit ominous. You know, you'd be standing innocently over a dead body in a field. Oh, God, this all seems a bit ominous. But the reason that I think I talk quite fast is because I'd have no one to talk to during the day. And so some days, the only person you'd have to talk to would be a passing car flying along the road. So you had to learn to talk fast if you wanted to talk to anyone. You'd be like, hi, how's it going? Oh my God, come back and talk to me. Do you like my new dress? Stay, be my friend. This sort of thing. Some days you'd be waiting for a tractor to come along, because you get more time out of a tractor, you see. You get to talk to them for longer. You'd be like, hi, how's it going? Do you like Sesame Street? I like Sesame Street. Oh, you do like Sesame Street. Sometimes I think Big Bird might not be a big bird, but he might just be a man in a suit. I know it sounds bad, but I have my suspicions. Goodbye, come back.
I recently got one of those virtual reality sets into the house, you know, with the mask and the whole... How many of you have done this yet? 1, 2, 7. It's amazing. It's genuinely stunning to me how few people have had a go on this, like whatever. It's genuinely stunning. You put the mask on your head, it's got 2 screens, independent screens, so therefore everywhere you move, it's like perfectly realistic. You put the headphones in, it's like completely immersive. You're in a 360 degree in all direction, totally artificial world. It's genuinely stunning. I think it's going to change gaming. I think it's going to change movies. It is going to revolutionize burglary. It's just... You break into a house and somebody has that on their face, Jesus, relax, chill out, you've got an hour. They're not going to know you're there. There's no rush, you can choose what you want. I like that, but that'll work well in the hall. It's a different game, right? And the weird thing is, as you saw there, not everyone's having a go at this. This is a genuinely transformative entertainment technology, and not everyone is using VR, right? And one of the quiet reasons that no one's talking about it, the reason that people aren't using VR is because nobody's using it to watch porn. It seems like a weird thing to do, but in the kind of history of nerdy kind of things, porn is surprisingly important for getting new technology accepted. Porn is the reason why Blu-ray beat the other kind of special DVD in their race a few years ago. Porn is the reason that sometimes video streaming software beat other kinds of video streaming software. The stuff that gets used for porn has a place immediately in the market, right? And nobody is using VR for porn, right? And I'm not naive, right? I know that men are visual creatures, but I can kind of see, you know, no man, while actually making love, has ever there been going, oh my God, this is incredible. Oh my God, honey, this is amazing. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Let me just have a quick look around the flat. Oh, that's fantastic, Jim. Oh, that's amazing. Jesus, huge. Is that Corner Singer original now, or did you have a other day? But the main reason that people aren't using VR for porn is because you cannot be entirely sure that she's out for the afternoon. And I mean 100% sure, because the stakes are really high. You do not look good in this situation. You do not need your loved one going, oh, I've left my credit card, I better go back in. What is this you're doing to yourself? Yes, I was bringing the kids to my mother's house, but the little one fell in, we've had to come home. But Jesus, this is what greets us. The nightmare is you finish the wank of the century, you take off the mask, and there are 3 police officers just staring at you. Going, do you have no idea what's been happening for the last while? Somebody broke into your house. They were spotted, we were called, there's been a standoff. You've been a hostage for 45 minutes. We've had to close off your road. Sky News have a helicopter slowly circling overhead. Your wife is outside on a megaphone going, stay strong, John, stay strong. And all the time, we've been watching you on the thermal imaging. Just battering away at yourself.
Little request, if you know anybody who works for WhatsApp, just tell them to let us delete the message entirely, like it was never sent. Don't delete the message, but still write, Neil has deleted the message. Like a little telltale informer. So that your friend still texts you and goes, what was in that message that you deleted it? You know when it says delete for me or delete for everyone? Who picks? Just for me, and just go and delete it for me, yeah? Yeah, still want them to see the awful stuff I've written, but I don't want to be reminded of how much of a dick I can actually be, yeah. It's like getting a tattoo removed and walking into the laser place going, what are my options for tattoo removal? You got 2 options. First option, we shine a laser on your leg, remove the tattoo so no one will see the tattoo. What is my second option? We shine a laser in your eyes so you won't see the tattoo. I'll go for option number 2, please. Thank you very much. I bought a new phone. I fell for the ad. You can put the phone on somebody else's phone and you can wirelessly transfer the charge. And the company thinks people are going to use that. No one's going to use that. Your charge is the single most important thing in your life. Look at your friends. They would prefer to donate a kidney to a stranger than to give you 5% of their mobile phone charge. You ever been abroad? Yeah? You ever been abroad? You bring 1 adapter, 1 charger between you and your spouse. The UN level of negotiation involved in getting the charger back from the person you love. Can I have the adapter, love? Can I have the charger? Can I have the adapter? Can I have the adapter? And they hit you with it. Absolutely, Neil. But what battery percentage do you have? And you look at the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with and you lie like a mofo, don't you? 3%, 2%, 0.5%. I've never even seen 0.5% in the mobile phone before, to be honest with you. Show me your phone, I'll plug it in for you. I can't show you my phone. Why can't you? I'm having an affair. How the hell having an affair? Show me your phone! We'll be in Spain. My wife will go and have a shower before we go out. She'll leave the bathroom door open and the shower door open. That is not an invitation to join her. You'll make that mistake once in your life, let me tell you that. It's because she doesn't trust you to not unplug her phone and plug your phone in. And she's right, because that's exactly what you do, isn't it? You plug her phone back in towards the end, so you got plausible deniability. You plug out my phone. I did not plug out your phone. It went up by 2% after a half an hour shower. That is because Spanish electricity is different. You plugged it in during the siesta and the wires were asleep. That's how it works here. If I talk to you in the front row, hope you know I'm just messing. You get great answers. A farmer at a gig once, I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a sheep farmer. I said, I read recently sheep can recognise individual human faces. He went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be okay. I had a South African man at a gig in Dublin once. I said, where are you from? Big blonde guy. He goes, Cape Town. I said, Cape Town is beautiful and warm and sunny. How did you end up in Dublin? He went, I got in the wrong container. The Irish guy, lovely fella, big guy, you know. Apparently we're going to be the most overweight country in Europe in a few years. And they tell us this like it's bad news. Oh, it's a catastrophe, it's a disaster. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. Only 180 years after the worst famine in Western Europe. I call that a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. No one else has bounced back like we have. Those people in Pompeii just died. If they were Irish, they'd be selling lava lamps by now.
This year, I did no lilt February. Thank you. I know, it sounds impossible, but you take it one day at a time. Did I have any today? No, you're a legend. It gets hard around the middle of the month, you get the cravings. It's called lilt guilt. You're like, oh, I bloody love some lilt. It's the night where you go to the shop at midnight, you kick the doors in, where's the lilt? And they're like, we don't stock it anymore. Like, ah! So you try and make your own hooch lilt, you know, you get a pineapple and a grapefruit, and you add in batteries and a horse's head, and you're like, it's good, but it's not totally tropical. Did that joke in America recently. Turns out they don't have lilt there. So, this is it. This is all I do. Imagine if this was your actual... I go like blah, 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 and you go, ah, ha, 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 money. Can't believe I get away with it. You do actual, proper London jobs. You know, like blacksmith, you know? Farrier. Brunch DJ. The big three. I tell you, I do not trust people who work in offices. I know, right? What are they doing? Nothing takes that long. They're planning something. They must be. Do you know? Do you ever call in to visit your friend in an office unexpectedly? Everyone just shits themselves. They're like, what's he doing here? Cover the screen, lie across the spreadsheet, get him out. Kind regards, warm regards, best. That's how they talk. I've seen the email. Hey. I know what it's like in the real world. Look, sometimes I check in your world. Oh, gross, back to showbiz. And... no, I'm very self-aware of the level of fame that I have. I was in a supermarket recently, and an older lady came up to me, and she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, you are vaguely familiar. And that is it. I did a gig in Wrexham, and I was at an ATM machine, and a guy cycled by, and he shouted at me, surprised to see you at an ATM machine. And I've been obsessed with it since then. What did he mean? Like, on the one hand, is he surprised I don't have a butler to go to the ATM machine for? No, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm surprised you have any money whatsoever doing keyboard horse shit. Here's my greatest ever showbiz tale. I did a gig in your Milton Keynes recently, thank you, and I was staying in the Milton Keynes Hilton, and she is the least well-known of all the Hilton sisters. And I checked in after the gig at like 12:30. Room 303 is where this took place. Open the door, TV on in the room. Not that uncommon in the chain hotels. I guess it's to welcome you. But get this, on the TV is me playing the shitty keyboard on some show. Immediate thought is like, is this a service they provide to all guests? If so, no, it's the realization this is it. I've arrived. And I waltz into the room, down the little corridor with the loo away to the left. And as the room opens out, there is a fully naked man lying on the bed. So they've given me the key to someone else's room. But he is lying there, watching me on the TV. And he looks up. To think of something smart. What I say is like, oh shit, sorry man. I could have said anything and I'd be a legend. I could have been like, oh, you enjoying this? Ah, no boner. And just walked out of it.
My name is Ardal. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things. Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal. That was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could Anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, Anal, what do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. And just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I'm actually stupid. They think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, is he as stupid in real life? And I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted, and he was looking at me with pity, and he actually asked me at one point, he said, do you remember being in it? This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi, and I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone, and we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool. No. I know he'd be telling everyone, oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted. So I let the driver take me all the way home. And as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
To be honest with you, I'm bisexual, but during lockdown, I'll admit, I was strategically gay. I think that was the only way to go. When dating became such that you had to meet strangers in parks, and also you had to believe the other person when they said they washed their hands. I'm not doing that with men. I also think that ultimately, if you are bi, I don't really know why anybody would be choosing men. Yeah, no offense, it's just that we smell better and you're violent. So... The men who don't laugh at that unnerve me most, yeah, okay. I'm glad, join in. Okay. There are good things about being broken up with. I think one of my favorite things is that I had to get my house sorted, so I got a bunch of DIY done. I think DIY is amazing. DIY, in particular, there's one silver lining, and that is that DIY reminded me of something I had long forgotten the point of, which is, of course, men. You're amazing, aren't you? Specifically, I'm a fan of a subgenre of men. They're called handymen. Do we know these guys? Oh my God, they're wizards. I love them. They do magic. I adore them. You're not sold. That's okay. I had one lad in one day, had a bunch of photos and art on the floor, left, came back, on the wall. Oh, I'm sorry. sorry, these guys are defying gravity and you're not impressed by that? Incredible. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. I also had one day where I had 2 men in, I know, very exciting, and I had a bookcase, right, that needed bolting to the wall. I said, can you bolt that to the wall? They said, yeah, of course we can. I said, cool. Just so you know, even if you bolt it to the wall, the floor is uneven, so it will wobble. They said, no, don't worry about that, sure, we'll just get some extra wood and pop it under it. What? I said, don't worry about that, sure, we'll just get some MDF and pop it under it. What is this witchcraft? Here's the thing, Apollo. They did. I was like, I will suck you both off. Obviously, I had to think about it afterwards because head was my first reaction, only my first reaction, I think a normal one. My second one was, of course, to wonder how I am a woman in her 30s who doesn't know how to do any DIY. And I think the obvious answer there is that men are keeping it a secret to remain relevant. And that's not on me, right? But I do know some women can do DIY. I date soft butches, I'm aware. But genuinely, I mainly know because a woman came to my house from British Gas, very modern, and she fixed my boiler, right? And after she was done, she said, okay, that's all done, all sorted. Just before it works, you will need to bleed the radiators. I said, what? She said, oh, for that to work, you're just going to need to bleed the radiators. I said, the butch one left. What are you saying? Sorry? Can't really hear you behind all of my hair. What's happening? She goes, do you want me to show you how to do that? I said, is that allowed? Women in the room, look at me. Come here to me now, focus, right? Did you know that that is just turning a key and waiting for liquid? It is basic hand job stuff, and no one will tell you. Here's the thing. Every man in my life has acted like that as a state secret, right? This man's furious, I'm telling you. You now have all the information you need. You're free, run. My dad bleeds a radiator in such a way that I thought he used his own dick. I thought there was actual blood involved. He'll go off with a bunch of tissues being like, I will do it, do not look, I will do it. Anyway, she fixed my boiler, so I was like, I will eat you out. They all said no, I had to pay both times. It's hard out there.
Oh, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. Very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same kind of thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke, it's a sharp joke, and also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see a pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. Who knew you could do it? Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. And I'm not slagging sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was named, what, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. He's magnanimous in victory. He's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live. I've met him. Lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. So then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise that.
Is there a barrister in the room, by the way? Do you have a barrister here? Yeah, so close. Who you are? What's your name, champ? Mark. Mark, what do you do?
Trainee solicitor.
You're a trainee solicitor. Okay, so you don't get to appear in court, do you?
No.
Oh, man, that's the whole fun of it, though. That would be the gas part, just appearing, just doing the walk in front of the jury. Oh, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Now, that would be the real gas of it all. You don't get that, do you not? No. Oh. Here, let me find out your instincts, though. Maybe you made the right decision, right? When you get to the end of a jury, right? When you get to the end of a jury, you're walking along, no, and you get to the end, right? And the jury's here. Which way should you turn?
Back on yourself.
Like like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why you wouldn't have made a good barrister. Just that moment there, right? If you're ever in a court, right, and you're ever representing yourself, walking along and blah, 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 your instinct will be to go blah, 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 end of the thing, just go blah, 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 blah. Wrong. This is the way you do it. Blah, 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 blah. But I ask you, when you look into the face of my client there, ask yourself, is he not guilty? That's how you do it, right? You ever been to showbiz, take it for free, right? Anyway, this psychic, this nameless psychic was on recently, this is a completely true story, was on a couple of days before me in a theatre somewhere, right? And died roaring, couldn't do it, genuinely, and to the point that the audience turned. The audience were just looking at her going, you can't do this. You're actually bad at this, right? You can't. And they started taking the mickey. I started going, give me a name, give me a woman's name. Tracy, perfect, Tracy. Let's call her Tracy, right? Tracy. And the audience started going, Tracy, what about my mother? And Tracy would go, is she dead? And they go, no. And another voice went, Tracy, what about my sister? And one goes, is she dead? And we go, no. And eventually someone goes, Tracy, what about my father? And she goes, is he dead? And the voice goes, yeah. And he went, oh, Ace, no. Something is coming through. Something is coming through. And the voice goes, no, he's here. Sorry. They're glorious. They're fantastic. They're fabulous people. So we had to chat with Andy. We talked to James Acaster. We talked to Julia there. The one person I really wanted to talk to was, well, actually, was a few, but Melissa from the property shows. Where's that? Hello, how are you? How's yourself? Good to have you here. You do the property shows on BBC Daytime, don't you?
I do.
You do? Yeah, well, you did. What are you going to do next year? Not so much in the property now, is it? That's a kind of a topical one there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just picking, you know? What are you going to do? A show called We're Staying Here? Or, actually, the schools aren't that bad. No, do you know my favourite is? My absolute favourite? The best of all, right? Not grand designs, not location, with respect, not homes under the hammer. Property Ladder is the greatest property show in the world, right? For one simple reason, right? Property Ladder. You know the one I mean? Yeah. Very good. Brilliant. Best, almost the greatest television show, because uniquely, historically, it's the only television show ever that has an expert that nobody pays a blind bit of notice to. Every week, Sarah Beanie comes in and goes, Magnolia, and they go, no, we're painting it black. week, she's going, no, please, what are you doing there? We're digging a hole in the hallway to put a swimming pool in. What? She must be off camera every week doing, what am I even here? They don't even listen to a word I say. Every week I give advice and then they make a big profit and they think they're as good as me. Well, they're not. And she's in, she's out, she's in, she's out. It's a continuity disaster area, it really is, yeah? I'm not saying anything against her being pregnant, but it does kind of give away how long it takes these people to do a bit of basic plumbing, you know what I mean? In the time it's taken them to plaster the back bedroom that she's been in, she's had 4 kids in the time they've taken them. Just stick her in a poncho in episode 1 and be done with it, all right? Make her Mexican, she can do the accent. Come in on a donkey going, so you want to develop some property? Yeah. Perhaps you'd like to knock through the wall and make this into a separate bedroom? Yeah, that would rise you. Many, many pesos for you if you can possibly...
Hope I haven't offended anybody. You don't know. You can talk about whatever you want on stage. Nobody gives a toss. You talk about cats. Don't talk about cats on TV. You know? Even if it's a funny thing about cats. Like Cat in the Bin. Remember that? There was a week of Cat in the Bin. A week of a cat going into a bin. You remember the first time you saw that horrific footage? The cat go into the bin. I know, live it with me, brothers and sisters. Is it just me, or was your first reaction, why is Susan Boyle putting a cat in a bin? What's going on? Genuinely, my first reaction when I saw the cat go in, I've turned into such an environmental idiot as I've got older. Genuinely, my first reaction when I saw the cat go into the bin was, oh God, no, wrong bin. A cat is 100% recyclable. You never know, man. I love the news and the tabloids. I love the tabloids, man. But are they creepy? Oh, you better believe they are. Here's a classic example, lad. The Middletons. Kate and Pippa. Right? They must have been raised in pretty much the same upbringing, right? They've got to be pretty similar women. Not in the tabloids, they're not. I feel sorry for Pippa, do you? Because all the filth is on her, isn't it? Because the tabloids can't say anything untoward about Kate, not the future Queen of England. So, oh, here she comes. Lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Here she comes. Duchess of Cambridge, future Queen of England. Here she is. Oh, handing out coins to the immigrant children. Look at filthy Pippa. Oh, you filthy cat. Who brings an arse to a wedding? Yeah. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, healing the poor with her eyes. Oh. Look at filthy Pippa. Down the docks with a bell. Ding, ding. Come and get it, boys. Come on. That's all I'm saying, people. I hope I haven't offended anyone. You just don't know when you're a comedian. I'll give you an example of this. I did a gig for the biscuit industry. That's right, people. I work for the biscuit industry. I know. It was terrifying, man. It was 15 biscuit businessmen. And I was dreading it, man. You know, not like this. I knew you were going to be good. But it turns out they were great. They were fantastic. And that's why I said it. I only said it because they were good. And I didn't walk straight on and say it. At the end of the gig, I went, listen, you've been fantastic. They were like, more. I'm like, no, I can't. I have to go do another gig. But before I go, can I ask you something? They're like, yeah. Anything? Yeah. It's about biscuits. Yeah. This is all I managed to say before the whole crap house went up in flames. Wagon wheels. They're the same size as they've always been.
1 You know when you're in love with somebody, you rarely see them at work. You rarely see them doing the thing that they do and you can't. It's extremely attractive. Go follow your partner someday to work. If they're having an affair, it'll be a hideous conclusion. But just watch them doing the thing. It's really cool, because you can't do it, they can. You go, no, I fucking know you're fantastic, you're glorious. Particularly when they're saving a life. Jesus, you're there going, oh, you're beautiful, I love you, and you're making me look good right now. Yeah, she's my girlfriend, look at her, she's glorious. She's saving her life, trophy bird, right? I had to be peeled off the doctor the day of the mini-stroke. Seriously, she was underneath me going, that's very flattering, but could I deal with the situation first, right? And I was behind her going, no, she'll be unconscious for a while, yes. Apologise, she's actually in the room tonight. Sorry about that. But it is nothing more attractive than seeing the person. I mean, the doctor here, have you a partner there with you? Have you a boyfriend or husband with you?
Yeah, he's a teacher.
He's a teacher, so he's not in the medical trade. My teacher friend, isn't it sexy? Have you seen her ever deal with an emergency, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet, he said loudly. Get her to run over one of these feckers on the way home tonight. Dude, it's extremely attractive, but the one bad thing is you're very clannish people, the doctors. They have a tendency to hang around together in little groups, right? Okay. My teacher friend, do you have to go to loads of social events where it's just you and doctor? Does that happen to you, my friend, does it?
I hate it.
Yeah, I know, it's a nightmare. I hate it, he said. I am articulating your pain, my friend. He hates it, ladies and gentlemen, because there's times I've been at dinner parties and it's doctor, and I'm the only feckin' muggles in the room, right? And they don't know half as much as you give them credit for. My friend, if you're ever at another dinner party and it's all doctors, feck with their heads. It's remarkably easy to do. If you're ever out with a load of doctors and they're going, well, today I performed a fucking duodectomy. You just go, yeah, but what are hiccups? Exactly. There's many competing theories at the moment. And then you go, why, if you stay in bed longer, do you feel more tired? It's not my speciality, that particular field. Does time heal all wounds? Who the fuck invited you to this dinner party anyway? What are the Oil of Olay 7 signs of aging? No one actually knows what the Oil of Olay 7 signs of aging are, right? Apparently they start with little lines around the eyes and finish with a woman sitting on a stairs with a bottle of gin going, I gave him the best years of my life! And it takes a feckin' hell of a cream to get rid of that, let me tell you. Doctor, one final question. Doctor at the back there, my surgeon friend, liver and pancreas, answer me this. What are hiccups exactly?
Diaphragmatic irritation.
A diaphragmatic irritation. Good woman yourself. Very good. Let the punters at home note, she said, diaphragmatic irritation, which is right. I also would have accepted any arrhythmic irritation of the phrenic nerve. Please. I'm not a doctor. I'm just riding one. Okay.